So let's pretend that you're at early retirement, or maybe you're at 65 years old and you're at full retirement, and you've done really well through your working life. You've paid off the owner-occupied mortgage on your own house because you've used the future-bound fast-track mortgage plan, of course, and you've got truckloads of equity in your investment property or investment properties. But the problem is, how do you get enough income from your investment property to replace your working income to actually give you cash to live off through your retirement? So this is a problem that or a gap in a lot of people's knowledge, is that they might have actually built their rental property portfolio, but they don't know how to turn it into cash to live off when they're actually at retirement age. But first, in case you don't know who I am, I'm Jeff Elias, founder of FutureBound. One of the main sort of tenets of what FutureBound is about is generational change through financial advice. And so because we really believe and really push generational change, that means we don't want or we don't suggest that you take your investment and turn it into cash and then spend it all through your retirement so that there's nothing at all left for the next generation. It's really great if you can leave something behind, because think of what a massive impact it has on the next generation if they've got this massive step up by having a whole bunch of cash left there by mum and dad, so that they can actually, you know, start life at a whole different level, and what a difference that makes to really, you know, everything about their life. So basically, secret to generational wealth is don't spend all your capital along the way. Because, I mean, one of the problems is, of course, if you spend it all, then you might actually live longer than what you think you're going to live, and then you might actually run out of cash, and you don't want to be 85 years old having to get a part-time job to pay the bills, and on top of that, of course, you don't have anything to leave to the kids. And then the next generation, of course, can use that head start to either buy their first house, or they can use it to just generate more income for themselves, which makes a massive difference to them. So how to get a passive income from your investment properties while preserving your capital investment so you can pass on that wealth to the next generation. That's what we're going to talk about today, and I'm going to go over 4 strategies of how you can use your investment property to create that retirement income, but without getting rid of your capital. So number 1, while you're working, while you're in your jobs, you're going to pay off your investment property mortgages so that they are freehold by retirement age, and then you're going to live off that rental income. So you might have had, let's say that you had 2 investment properties and they both had mortgages on them, and through your working life you're going to pay off that mortgage, and then the rental income that you get from those properties is going to give you an income, and that's going to be your rental income, right? And you're going to live off that rental income through your retirement. So a pro of this is that this is a passive income through retirement with relatively little effort, maybe a little bit of maintenance on the rental property, but mostly that rental property will just pay you a income through your retirement. Okay. A con of this strategy is that you're going to have to, during your working life, you're going to have to allocate a higher percentage of your income to pay off these mortgages, so that the debt is gone by the time that you get to retirement age. So this does work best if your properties have got really strong positive cash flow, and you're able to throw more income either through rental income or also through your own income to paying off that mortgage as fast as possible while you are still working. Okay. Right, number 2, if you have multiple investment properties, you can sell some and use the profits from those rental properties to pay off the remaining mortgages of whatever rental properties that you've got left, and then you can live off that rental income. All right, so that looks something like this. You've got, let's say you've got 1, I'm not very good at drawing houses, 2, 3, 4 rental properties, and let's say that they might have all had mortgages to start with, right? And even when you get to retirement age, they might still have those mortgages. But then you're going to sell that property, and you're going to sell that property, and then you're going to use the proceeds to pay off that mortgage, and pay off that mortgage, and now these 2 houses at the bottom are freehold, right? And so that's going to turn into rental income for you, and you can live off that rental income with your 2 freehold investment properties throughout your retirement. Okay, so a pro of this is that it's easier on your cash flow during your working life, as those all these 4 rental properties can be on interest only. Okay, you don't have to be worried about increasing the repayments and paying them off, and so it's just a little bit easier on you through your working life. A con of this strategy is that basically all your wealth and all your income is tied up in the property market, and your income is 100% dependent on on having a rental occupancy, having tenants there to pay you a income for you to live off in your retirement. Right, let's move on to number 3. So number 3 is you're going to sell all your investment properties, pay off any debt that you've got left on those investment properties, and then give all that money that you've got, which is likely to be tax-free money at that time because you're most likely well past the bright line test, you're going to give all that money to fund managers and ask them to invest that money on your behalf, and then you get to live off the annual return without actually touching the original capital. Okay, so that looks like something like this. You might have had 1, 2, 3, 4, and they might have even all still had mortgages on them because they might have been on interest only. And then you sell that one, sell that one, sell that one. Basically, you completely cash up, all right? And then you give that money to this person here, who is a fund manager. Okay, and then that fund manager will invest that money on your behalf to give you a percentage return on your investment. Okay, so that's a fund manager. Did I say property manager before? I don't know. In case I did, mistake. Fund manager. All right, so this is like a fund manager, and they would invest. And you could, of course, if you wanted to spread your risk, you could, give money to multiple fund managers. Okay, so a pro of this strategy is pretty low stress and it's pretty low effort. Okay, so other than doing the work during your working life to acquire the properties, once you've sold off your properties and you give the money to a fund manager, then they kind of do all the work for you. Like there's not a whole lot of effort, and it's pretty hands off. Okay. Now a con of this strategy is that your income is really totally dependent on the share market, which of course can go up and down, and this is something that is out of your control. Okay, so number 4 is basically a hybrid. Okay, so it's just diversification. So it's either you're going to do this one was 1, this one was 2, and this one was 3. So you're going to do 1 or 2 plus 3. Okay, so 1 or 2, you're basically going to get investment properties freehold, so that you can get some income off your freehold investment properties, and you're also going to be having some money going to a fund manager, so that a fund manager can invest on your behalf, and that way you're getting a combination of income. You're getting some from your property, you're getting some from your fund manager, and with both those scenarios, you're not touching your capital investment. The investment is still there, the capital is still there to pass on to the next generation. Okay, so this is just diversification. It's just basically putting your eggs in the different baskets, so that you've got spreading your risks. So that's a strong pro. And then a con of this is that you need to be pretty onto it earlier, because it takes more properties to be able to do this. All right, like you probably need to actually accumulate more investment properties to be able to do this strategy, because you need to be able to, say for example, you're doing this one, you still need to sell some properties and keep some properties, but then you also need to be able to sell properties and use that cash to be invested. So it might take take a bit more early planning to do that, but the result is more diversification. So I hope you've found that helpful, because I really want to illustrate how you can turn your property investment into cash in the hand when you're at retirement age. Lots of people do this. It's pretty simple when you know how, and early preparation makes a massive difference to be able to take that, to be able to make that a reality when you get to that age. So I hope you found that helpful. That was just to bridge the gap in knowledge that a lot of people have around how you can actually turn investment property into a passive retirement income without getting rid of your capital. If you would like to find out what you can do with your situation and what you need to do to prepare yourself for this type of outcome, then we do free 15-minute consultations, of course. Feel free to book in some time so that we can go through your situation, see what your usable equity situation is, and see what it is that you can do to help get yourself better prepared for early retirement or full retirement. Thanks a lot.
For more financial tips, advice, and education, subscribe to us on YouTube and don't forget to hit that notification bell.